Tonight we are in Acadia National Park and we're shooting night photography on the GoPro Hero 8 Black. That's about all I got to say. Let's jump into it. Full disclosure, this is my first time ever trying nighttime photography. It is the day before a new moon, clear skies, so we're hoping for good results. You can't see anything, but it's all up there. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to record this and take pictures, so you might just end up seeing the pictures afterwards. We'll see. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning and we just got back from taking pictures with the GoPro Hero 8 Black. We drove to the top of Cadillac Mountain, which is the biggest mountain here in Acadia. And the first shot I took just was, we looked at it and just jaw-dropping, really. So I'm excited to get the photos in Lightroom tomorrow morning and see what they look like, because they look incredible. So see ya in there. Oh, let's say hi to Travis, actually. Travis, hello. And also the moths. First time nighttime photography, first time star photography, and I think it went pretty well. I'll go into my GoPro settings and everything like that tomorrow morning. All right, so first let's start with the finished photo right here. So personally, I am very, very pleased with that photo, especially being my first time taking nighttime photography, first time using the GoPro to take pictures. Overall, I was tremendously impressed with how the GoPro was able to take that picture, and yeah, I'm just really excited to take some more nighttime photography with it. All right, so now let's jump into my GoPro settings. Wrote them down here so I can talk about them. So I was in the photo mode for it on the GoPro Hero 8. The lens I was using the wide-angled lens just to get as much of the sky as I could. I set the shutter speed to 30 seconds, and you set it to 30 seconds so that way the shutter is open, taking in light for 30 seconds so you get as much of the starlight as you can. I had the output set to RAW, so you get the largest file size to work with post-processing. So I set the timer setting to 3 seconds, which is just kind of something that I decided to do on a whim. I thought that 3-second timer made a lot of sense because I had the GoPro set up on a tripod. That way I don't shake the camera, move the camera, or anything like that as I press the button to start taking the photo. So the timer was set to 3 seconds. Had the white balance at 5500. I don't think I really even touched that setting. I just kind of left it because that's what it was. I had the ISO min and the ISO max both set to 1600. I just found that setting online as a suggestion for nighttime photography with the GoPro. I went with it, and I was very pleased with the results. And then I had the sharpness set to high. And that was it. That was all I did. Put it down, whoosh, clicked it, 30 seconds later, boom. Really easy, really awesome. Overall, super impressed with the GoPro. Super impressed with the GoPro's ability to take pictures at night. But yeah, so now I'm just really excited to kind of really dive in and master the GoPro settings and really dial it in to take some even more impressive nighttime shots. So now we're gonna dive into Lightroom, and I'm gonna kind of just run through the edits that I did on this photo. I'm not doing like a real-time edit or anything like that because honestly, I didn't really know what I was doing as I was going through. I've never edited a shot like this, so I really was just kind of moving things up and back just to kind of try to get it how I wanted. It's not perfect. There still is a lot of graininess that I just couldn't figure out how to get out, but overall it was the best I could do, and I'm incredibly happy with the results. So yeah, so let's dive in. Alrighty, so now here we are in my Lightroom here, and I'm just gonna kind of run through the edits that I did on this picture. I would do a little before and after, but for whatever reason, I guess I must have re-uploaded like a previous, like a slightly edited version already. So I actually don't know if I have the totally original file. I must somewhere, but we're just gonna run through the edits that I did. So I did play with the temperature a little bit. There was just too much yellow in the sky, so I had to bring it down a little bit, down towards the blues. Same with the tint, just had to bring that a little bit. That was just a preference thing. I don't really, who knows if it did anything. Let's see, let's set it to 0 and see what happens. Yep, can't even tell, but -3, because always touch the sliders. So I actually didn't touch the exposure at all. I kind of thought that it was properly exposed as is, and I just kind of wanted to play with the colors and the contrast and everything, instead of the exposure. Brought the contrast up to 30. Let's set that to 0, see what happens. Again, so yeah, you can tell. I think that 30 just gives it a little bit extra pop, kind of darkens the sky a little bit. Brought the highlights way down and brought the shadows up a little bit, brought the whites way up. This was personal preference. I really couldn't decide if I liked it better with the highlights up and the whites down, but I thought the whites really kind of brought out the sky. But I thought bringing up the whites really kind of just exaggerated the sky up here. Just the blacks a little bit, but not much. Texture, clarity, dehaze. So with this, I typically like to up the clarity and bring the texture down, and that's exactly what I did in this shot. And I thought it kind of worked perfectly. This is an interesting one. I had to bring the saturation way down. I put it up to 0 so you guys can see. There's just a little bit, there's just so much green, so much yellow, just all that right in here. So we'll put that back. Put that back to -50 where it was. Just kind of makes it look more like what the sky actually looked like at the moment. Because again, I don't want this to look just totally way edited. Yeah. Tone curve. So then after I actually did all of that, and then I came down to the tone curve, and I was like, the highlights could still probably be brought out a little more. So I really didn't do much on here besides just bring up those light star regions, as you can tell by right here. I did a little bit of color toning. There was a bit, let's see, so there was a purple hue over here that I think was from lights in Bar Harbor. So I just had to turn that way down, see, right here. So I just had to bring, I'm sitting outside and there are so many trucks going by. So I brought that way down, and then same with the yellows, brought the yellows down, and I believe, no, I didn't bring the greens down. I thought I brought the greens down, but I didn't. But I brought the yellows down just because it was, again, just still a little too yellowy in here. As you can tell, there still is a lot of noise up here. That is just a lot. Which I tried to kind of, I've never actually really used sharpening and noise reduction, so to be totally honest, I don't have much of an explanation as to what I did, but I think it made it look better. So that was the main edits that I did, and then right here also, so look at this. I did all of these spot edits. So what this tool does is it takes, see right here, so it's going to fill in this circle right here with the other circle that the arrow is pointing from. So it's kind of filling in this spot with this spot over here. And I did that just because there was a lot of like colored specks in the mainly down in the trees. There was purple and green, just little light specks. I guess the GoPro is just picking up light from somewhere. So I did my best to kind of clean up all of that. But I'm sure I can still go in and kind of do more edits, and let's see, so like right there, you guys see that little red dot, but I kind of cleaned up as much as I could down here in the trees, and I decided that's it, I'm done. I'm not going to be a perfectionist with this. I love it. So all right, but yes, so that's about all the edits that I did. It took me a long time to get to this final state. again, like I said, I've never really edited a nighttime photography shot. Actually, I've never really edited a star shot like this. So it was kind of an interesting experience for me. I really had to just kind of play with the sliders, going up and back and up and back and up and back until I kind of dialed it in how I wanted it. But overall, I think this came out phenomenally. I'm incredibly impressed with the GoPro, and I cannot wait for more clear, starry nights, especially when we start heading out west. It's just going to be incredible. I know, I mean, Acadia National Park is one of the best places on the East Coast for stargazing. And we were lucky enough to get up there, or we were lucky enough to get up on top of Cadillac the day before a new moon. So the day before there is no moon in the sky. So I think there was like 0.5% moon brightness. So there really was no moon. But yeah, so that's about all I got for you guys. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you want to go take pictures with your GoPro now. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. See ya.